There are three types of people: those who make things happen, those who wait for things to happen, and those who had no idea what happened.
To just find that motivation to be the best version of yourself and see how far you can go, because ultimately it's your decision.
So here we have two different individuals, one pursuing music and one is an author, and not waiting for the phone to ring. You actually picked up the phone and called yourself and made this opportunity for yourself. Thomas, let's start with your journey in music. You self produced your own song, complete with a music video and everything. Tell us about that.
Anything anyone says to you is nothing more than their opinion. Dig deep and trust your instincts.
Yeah, I mean, like when I was a kid, I always wanted to be an entertainer. I wanted to be in front of the camera. So I started developing my YouTube series, Your Time with Thomas. And from there, I wanted to parlay that and start creating music. I've always, since I was a teenager, have handwritten songs, and I have all of these songs that I wanted to produce, and Brush It Off was one that I really wanted to share with the world. So during the pandemic, I took the time to go back, work with a co-songwriter, and we released Brush It Off this year in 2021, and it's been doing so amazing. We have a music video. The song is about empowerment, continuing on, finding that strength, and just feeling really good about yourself. Glad one of the biggest LGBTQ organizations was actually a part of the video. So the messaging behind it is just to never give up on yourself and to just find that motivation to be the best version of yourself.
The song is actually very catchy. The tune is catchy, the rhythm as well as the lyrics. It stands for something. It's not just like a danceable pop kind of catchy tune. It has a message. We'll get back to that later. But Mike, I want to give the mic to you now. As you also self-published your
Mhm.
own book, tell us about that.
My book is called Kiss My Mic. It's a memoir about navigating the world of being a gay Filipino immigrant in America. Ultimately, it's about finding your true identity and embracing who you are and loving yourself. That journey that really talks about going through the emotions that I went through. There's the racial identity of being an immigrant. There's a sexual identity in terms of being gay, and everything that comes along with it. All the rejection that I had gone through in the past, growing up in a religious Catholic family, and ultimately finding who I am and being happy with who I am. I think that message is something I wanted to share to the world. Hopefully, there's another person out there who is going through the same thing that can resonate with what I've gone through, and in hopes that things will be better. So that's probably the reason why I pursued this opportunity.
I love that. Achieving your own breakthrough and now
Mhm.
writing it down, documenting it so that others may learn from you, right? Two things that jumping at me. First, Mike was saying about the rejection, being rejected because of your sexual orientation, being rejected because of your racial identity, right? But also, Thomas, you're talking about not giving up. So I know that it's intertwined because yes, we get rejected. Every one of us experiences rejection, right, in one form or another. But the most important message is that we don't give up. And that's what you guys did. Because,
Mhm.
Mike, instead of shopping your book to big publishers, which did you do that, by the way?
I thought about it. I knew that for a first time author, especially for a memoir writer, that I think that it wasn't going to be in my cards to do traditional publishing because of the perception that most big publishers are really looking for big names, especially for memoir. This is the reason why the bestsellers that we see out there are from the likes of the Obamas, Michelle and Barack Obama, Matthew McConaughey. So for me, since this is the first time I'm actually writing a book, I really considered it as my foot in the door. So to learn about the industry, and maybe someday I will also pursue traditional publishing as a venture and pursue my next projects.
Right. What about you, Thomas? Did you try to shop your music around to see if anyone would, like a big label, would back it?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to grow the music. I would love for the song to do well in the Philippines. I think it's just one of those songs that you can probably hear at like a shopping mall or like anywhere in the Philippines. I was talking to Mike before the interview of my experience out there, and yeah, I've just been taking up meetings, and we released it exclusively through Glad and also through Reverie, another company out here in Los Angeles. So there's, the song is so timeless. We wrote it for, for it to sound very fresh and current and modern. So there's definitely a lot of excitement around it, and I'm really looking forward to hopefully being signed to a label one day.
But what pushed you to produce it yourself? Because it can't have been easy.
I definitely want to share that with the world is it's not easy, but with the right game plan and with the right team, actually, you can do anything you put your mind to. Creating Your Time with Thomas on YouTube, my YouTube show, kind of really guided me through the process. It's like, okay, if I was able to come up with my YouTube show and it be, successful and reach audiences, I think like producing my own first music video was going to be like a fun challenge. There is, like what you said, meaning to it, from the words to the visual. It was one of the most exciting and fulfilling experiences I've done so far.
To me, this may sound like a cliche, but the reason why I did it is because I really believe that there are three types of people: those who make things happen, those who wait for things to happen, and those who had no idea what happened. And so, for me, if you ever think that you have dreams for yourself, I think that you need to be that kind of person who makes things happen, because otherwise things may never happen, and doing so means that you can be steps closer to achieving your dream.
I love that, right? What about you, Thomas? Your message to those who maybe are trying to make things happen, but they can't?
At the end of the day, like, you have to do what you want to do. There's going to be people with plenty of opinions, even people that are going to make you not want to do it. But you yourself, you have to trust yourself and just keep going and see how far you can go, because ultimately it's your decision.
And that's why I always say you need to surround yourself with the people whose love and respect you have, but at the same time you also love and respect them. That's why it's good to have those sounding board, right? To let you know honestly what they think
Yep.
doing, or what they think you should be doing, and things like that, aside from listening to yourself, of course, and praying. Mike, what was your biggest learning? It's a memoir, and I can only imagine, if I like, I'm trying to put myself in your shoes. If I were to write a memoir, it will probably take a long time, because I would probably need to stop at certain points, because things would be maybe too painful or too, right? Because you're
Yeah.
drawing from experiences.
Mhm.
Was that the same? What was that experience like for you?
Therapeutic. It was cathartic. It was eye-opening. And, I really dealt with a lot of personal stories about my family, about my sexual identity, about my immigration to America. There was a chapter, one of my favorite chapters actually in the book is called The Misalignment of Dreams. And the basic premise behind this chapter is that there is a difference between your dreams for yourself and other people's dreams for you, including your families. And likewise, there's also a difference between your dreams for them and their dreams for themselves. Most of the time, they're not aligned, and that's exactly what happened with my mom. And so that chapter dealt with my relationship with my mother. So when I moved to America, so I have my dreams for myself and for my family. And on the other hand, mom had a completely different vision for me and for our family as well. And it resulted in her making decisions that affected me in a negative way. And as a result, I ended up resenting her. And that resentment is something that I held on for a long, long time. So, sadly, it was only when she passed away in 2018 when I finally let go of the resentment. The piece of the story that I want to share to the world is this takeaway that we must try to free our hearts from all the resentment and the hatred, and also that sometimes dreams can be misaligned. So to me, that will be the biggest learning or takeaway.
I love that.
Yep.
Thank you for sharing that, Mike, and thank you
Yeah,
for
that was
being totally candid about that. It can't be easy, but I know that you've gone through this process perhaps over and over when you were writing. And Thomas, can you address that? What did you learn through this whole experience?
Well, I learned that no idea is too little. I think like this particular project, just collaborating with so many different people. It was so great to be with. There were 30 plus people on set, just all the different personalities. I had reached out on my Instagram, who wanted to be in the video, who wanted to participate, and just learning from people and like understanding their stories. All of the directors and producers and stylists that I got to work with, it was just really collaborative, and it just really exude from the video exactly what I wanted to convey the message, which was we're all equal, we're all out there with big dreams, and it's just such a positive message. And it's just so important to like work with positive people that are creative and understand who you are and just want success and want you to succeed in life. So it was just really great to be around all of those people, and just learned a lot about myself, just starting off producing the video ideology, just coming up with ideas of how I wanted the video to come across, to finally see the final product and for people to resonate with it and enjoy it for what it is. It was just featured in Forbes recently, so just to get it out there and for people to appreciate all of the hard work we did was really gratifying.
And Mike, you also learned a lot about family, about people that you surround yourself with. And us Filipinos, we're very close to our family, right? So how do they think, how did they receive the book?
Right now, they are supportive. And in fact, that was probably the biggest success for me, is to hear them that they are proud of me. But of course, I tackled on so many different touchy subjects, especially with my oldest sister. So my oldest sister is the one who ultimately rejected me for being gay. And it came to a point where she actually told me that if I don't change my sexuality, then I should just forget them. So it was, for me at that time, it was hurtful to be hearing those words, especially from someone you love. And, because I was just trying to live my life, and I don't know what I did wrong. So when my oldest sister read that part and everything else that I was going through and I was feeling, it was tough for her. But I think right now we are in a positive trajectory towards really building our relationship, continuing our relationship. There's just so many lessons that I've learned that hopefully they've learned as well. But I'm hopeful and optimistic that ultimately we'll be a good family. So at the end of the day, family is the most important thing in the world. So that's overall how they responded to my journey about the book. So it was a process as well. But I'm happy where it is right now. So
It must feel satisfying, right?
yeah.
To now refer to yourself as a published author, which you are. Congratulations to both of you. Mike, what's on the horizon?
Right now, it's definitely promoting the book. And also, I have a podcast. And then at some point, whenever I'm ready, I definitely am up for another writing project.
Yeah, I'm working right now on Your Time with Thomas season 3. I love making music. I write music, and just I think it's so important for there to be more Filipino-American artists out there. So I'm really excited to share upcoming music as well.
I hope you guys support each other. I hope you guys collaborate. This is what we do, right? We are a community. We help and support each other. But again, for now, congratulations on each of your successes and achievements, and more power to both of you.